My name is Cathy Wootton. I'm coming to you from Innisfil, Ontario, which is a small town, a small community north of Toronto, Canada. And I want to thank you so much for joining me this evening. I'm super excited to be with you tonight and to be hosting this opportunity overview. I want you to know that when I was asked to host the webinar, despite being a little bit nervous, I was also very pleased to say yes, because I have been on the most incredible journey for the last 5 years or so, a journey of really incredible significance that has completely changed the trajectory of my future for the better. It's just an exciting time for me. And it's my hope tonight that I can share some of the information I've learned, I can share some of my story and share some of this journey, just to pique your curiosity enough that you want to learn more, that you get your questions answered. Because I am a person who, I'm grateful for lots of things in this life. I am grateful for so many, many things, but I can most sincerely tell you that at this moment today, one of the things I'm the most grateful for is that I know what I know, and I'm going to share that with you tonight. So some of you may know a bit of my story. I graduated from Queen's University. I was traditionally educated in science and biochemistry, and I was fortunate to get a career type job right out of university. I went to work in the pharmaceutical industry, and I was excited. That's a great career. It had company car, expense account, lots of perks. My friends were still waitressing, so frankly, I had totally hit the jackpot. And it was kind of an exciting start. At a time when, fresh out of university, you hardly have 2 pennies to rub together, and to think that I landed this, this career type job. So it was kind of exciting time for me. I thought I was joining an industry though, and a movement that, would help me in an industry and help a movement to help people, better their health. I thought I was in a situation where I was going to help bring new protocols, new products, new drugs to market to help, mankind for the betterment of all. But little did I know at that time, later did I learn, but at that time I was blinded by the light. I was blinded by having a car with a gas card and a regular salary, as I said, when many, if not most of my friends were still waitressing and bartending. So, I'd hit the jackpot. But later did I come to realize, as my eyes grew wider, that maybe the pharmaceutical business is not so much about health and maybe a lot more about the money. So over time, I just had to get out. Inside where I live, I felt quite uncomfortable to be in that arena. So I left the industry and I pursued a teaching career. I taught high school science for a few years. And then I went on to support my husband, and together we ran a traditional business of heavy residential and commercial cleaning and some flood restoration, until we were able to retire from that business almost 4 years ago now. It's hard to believe that it's been so long. But also part of the story that you need to know is that my dad was a pharmacist, and together with my mom, they ran a small chain of independent drugstores in the Niagara, Ontario region. And so my interest in health and the pharmaceutical arena certainly stemmed from kitchen table talk as I was growing up, and my parents' involvement in that industry. But I want to fast forward a number of years, because things really shifted for me when I was, watching my dad at the end of his life, frankly. That's when it shifted for me. Nearing the end of his life, I found myself desperately looking for something to help my dad, something that the traditional pharmaceutical protocol was clearly not working and was not doing for him. I was watching him fail literally before my eyes, while on the drugs, while on the very thing that was his life, the thing that he made his entire career about, his entire career, and it was not serving him when he needed it the most. So I think that was the moment that I was able to finally get out of my own way. It was the catalyst for me to open my mind, to looking. You see, my good friend Stu had sent me an ABC News report many months prior. I didn't even look at it. I didn't want to look at it. First, I knew it was direct sales, and I was jaded for the industry. I did have some minor experience many, many years prior to that, not overly favorable experience. And so I was just jaded. I just felt that my own personal experience all those years ago was enough for me to make this decision that this kind of an industry or business, wasn't for me. And also, I'm looking at the science, I'm looking at this ABC, and I'm thinking in my own arrogance that I knew enough that this could possibly not be true. It just sounded too good to be true. And, you know, it was hype in my mind. But it's amazing how your mind changes and how one single thing can change your whole perspective. And for me, it was watching my dad, who was always, you know, my strong, protective dad, who was my biggest cheerleader and my biggest supporter in life. And I was just watching him fail. And so at that moment, I realized that I needed to be more open. I needed to be more open. I was looking for something that could help him. So I started looking at the information. I'm going to be honest. One eye was trying to find the reason why it's too good to be true. One of the reasons was I was trying to prove that I was right, and this was only hype. But the other eye was in the background thinking, I wonder if this stuff that this ABC clip is talking about could actually help my dad. Could this help my dad, you know, when nothing else did? That's what started my journey of discovery. That is the very beginning of my discovery. And I'm going to share it with you now. So what was the first thing that happened? So the first thing was I was introduced to a brand new area of scientific discovery called Nutrigenomics. It sounds like a big complicated word, but let me tell you, it's got a super cool meaning. So the study of nutrition or naturally occurring compounds, so nutri and genomics, how does it affect gene behavior? How does nutrition and naturally occurring compounds affect gene behavior? Okay, how do certain phytochemicals in plants, when they're taken in the proper amount and the proper ratio, can actually express our genes for health? Our DNA, the very foundation of which makes us us, is something that I'm starting to learn about. How exciting. Could this really help my dad? Now I'm going to share a screen with you, and I'm going to walk you through the discovery that I made during that time. So I was introduced to the company Lifevantage. This company had been working in this space of nutrigenomics really since the early 2000s, and was working and researching in this space on furthering the understanding of this discovery of turning on the switches in our genes and bringing new possibilities to life. Now, before we get going, I should tell you, I'm going to give you a couple of disclaimers here. I'm going to be talking a lot about science and health. I get very excited about that, and I just want to make sure that everybody's clear that anything I say tonight is not intended to imply that we treat, cure, or mitigate any disease. And yet learning the information I'm going to share with you has absolutely had a profound impact on my life. It's changed the quality of my dad's life at the end, when he was already in his late 80s and living with compromised health. And it sent me on this journey of discovery. Oops. So another disclosure, because we are going to be talking also a little bit about business tonight. I'm going to talk about business near the end of the webinar, the presentation. But like everything in life, and there's a fantastic business opportunity attached to this, I'm not sure which is more exciting, the science and the products and what they can do for humankind, or the fact that there's an opportunity for the average person like you and me to make an income based on this spectacular discovery. I'm not sure which I'm more excited about. But back to the disclaimers. So everybody's results will vary, like everything in life. The more you put into something, the more you're going to get out. This business pays you what you're worth, and that is the best part for me. So if you're willing to work hard and do what's necessary to grow a business, I'm telling you the rewards are absolutely stellar. So let's talk about the discovery. Let's talk about the path I was on. So Lifevantage began in a lab with a single question. Is declining health something that we have to simply accept as part of getting older? Kind of an interesting question. Well, I'm looking at my dad clearly failing as he's getting older. So is it something that we just have to accept, or can we do something about it? So the first discovery, our genes contain incredible abilities to keep our bodies healthy. People, humans are coded for health. Our DNA is coded for health, not for disease. It's the lifestyle choices and the environment that we make over time that can accumulate at a cellular level and cause negative things to happen. It can cause our DNA to be mutated. It can cause health problems. But when you understand that humans are coded for health and that our DNA is basically coded for health, that's a spectacular discovery. The second discovery now happened decades later. as we discovered a way to achieve these abilities. We discovered a way to flip on the switches, our God-given switches, our natural defense mechanisms that are coded in our DNA. That's the big secret. I'm going to say it again. We've learned how to turn on the switches in our DNA for better health. I was so rocked to my core when I learned this, because these discoveries set this company on an exciting, exciting path of discovery that we can all take advantage of. The company was formed in 2003 specifically for the purpose of continuing this research and sharing it with the world. Such important discoveries that everybody needs to know. I'm excited to share with you where we are today, but to totally understand the extraordinary journey that this company's been on, you really need to know where we all started. And to give you just a brief history, this company started back in the early 2000s, like I mentioned earlier, studying these great discoveries on gene expression. The product, our flagship product, our Protandim Nerve 2, has actually been available and sold retail since 2003. But the company really took a direction down an extraordinary path in 2005 when the network ABC got wind that this company, Lifevantage, had discovered something extraordinary for human health. And they came knocking on the door of the company and said, can we investigate? That was pretty exciting. At that time, when the world was really first introduced to the biohacking revolution, which many of you have heard that term now, biohacking, and that's exactly where this started. This was probably the first time, this ABC clip, that the world was really introduced to biohacking and nutrigenomics. If you have not seen that clip, please ask the person that invited you on this call. They can send you the link so you can watch the entire ABC Primetime Investigative Report. As I say, it started this company really on this trajectory of an extraordinary journey. But on top of that, not only was the world exposed to nutrigenomics, the stock shot up to over $20 a share virtually overnight from that ABC clip, based on sheer speculation alone on what this could do for human health. But maybe even more importantly to a science geek like me, is that it wasn't just the people that saw that. Some of the most extraordinary scientists and researchers around the planet also saw that ABC clip, and that started a huge barrage of independent science. That is what caught my attention when I first started looking at the information, when I finally got out of my own way and I started looking. Harvard, Colorado State University, Louisiana State, some of the organizations and researchers that have spent their hard-earned, grant money studying this herbal supplement is something I had never seen before. It literally caught my attention. I knew that I wasn't as smart as all those scientists that were allocating huge money to study this supplement. I knew right then I was missing something. There's something here. These people, as I say, are way smarter than me. And look at all these extraordinary universities and research facilities spending money on researching this product. I knew something was there. I didn't know what it was. I needed to keep digging. I went to the largest database on planet Earth. It's called pubmed.gov. I was quite familiar with this database because of my time in the pharmaceutical industry. It's the go-to place for most medical professionals. We can research other products, pharmaceuticals, all kinds of things, and it's the largest repository of medical data in the world. I went there. Guess what I saw? All kinds of studies on this branded supplement. This database is the US National Library of Medicine. It just doesn't get any better than that. So that was the first thing. Oh my goodness, some of the smartest people on planet Earth are studying this supplement. They're seeing that it's possible to flip switches in our genes. After that, the company decided, you know what, we're making a couple of $1 million a year. We've got a little bit of sales going on, but our product is so extraordinary. How can we get it to the masses? It was in Walgreens and Rite Aid and all kinds of chain stores, GNC, all over the US, and it was only selling a couple $1 million a year. This was a stellar product. How can we get it to the people? Well, it's pretty obvious that product labels don't talk, and neither do store shelves. And here was this awesome brand new gene activator sitting on the shelves with all the rest of the trendy antioxidants and vitamins, basically just getting drowned out by all the noise. Nobody knew what this product was capable of, and nobody could read the bottle and get the story, get the message of how extraordinary this is for human health. So the company decided to take their marketing and switch directions and change the business model to a direct sales business model. That was twofold, fantastic decision. One, the world of retail was already struggling. Retail locations are continuing to this day disappearing. And why is that? Because products going direct from manufacturer to consumer are getting much more popular. We're all shopping online. It's the way of the future. So Lifevantage, in their wisdom, said, we need to go direct to the consumer. And not only that, if we go direct sales, we can share this story. What we're looking to do is generate a team of enthusiastic people that have had a positive product experience, that can get that ABC clip in front of the masses to share this story so people can really understand and learn how extraordinary this product is and what it can actually do for human health. So that is when we began using the expression activation. Have you heard it? We're activating our genes. We're not supplementing anymore. And this is a massive, massive shift in the health industry. We are standing at the beginning of a shift from supplementation to activation. And this company, Lifevantage, is out in the forefront, having years of research and experience under their belt by looking down this exact avenue of medical scientific development and discovery. To address the leading theories on health and decline, which of course is aging. We're looking at how the human being ages, and can we slow it down by flipping on the switches? Now, do you see where I'm going with the story with my dad? I'm watching him age at 86 years old, failing. What if I could switch on the switches in his genes and help him navigate this last part of his life with better quality? The first theory of aging is the theory of oxidative stress. What's the issue? The body is constantly bombarded by oxidative stress. The onslaught of free radicals impacts our cellular function. If you're not familiar with the expression oxidative stress, it's really an accumulation of free radical damage. Okay, this is the very reason why the supplement industry is absolutely massive. We've known for a long time that our body produces free radicals as an exhaust of respiration. The fact that we're mammals and we breathe oxygen is the very process at the cellular level that's producing an exhaust called free radicals, and they're damaging. They're reactive molecules that damage our cells. So the solution, however, is that our body does combat oxidative stress by producing its own antioxidants from within. What's the hurdle? What's the problem? Unfortunately, the body's production of our own natural antioxidants slows over time. My dad was not producing enough antioxidants inside to get a handle on the free radicals that were ravaging his body and causing him to age, okay? This is a very important factor. The theory of aging of oxidative stress has been known for a long time. It's why we eat a rainbow of food. It's why we really want to take a handle on what kind of foods, whole foods, clean foods that we're eating, because oxidative stress is a real thing. And you also need to understand that even if I lived in a bubble, because I'm a mammal and because I breathe oxygen, I'm going to generate oxidative stress even if I'm protected from all of the environmental factors of today. It's a property of being a human and being a mammal that I'm going to generate free radicals from within. And why should I care? Because oxidative stress is virtually cellular damage. There's not a single organ or system in the body that escapes the damage of oxidative stress. Oxidative stress happens on a cellular level, and we are all just a bunch of cells. So if our cells aren't working properly, we have problems coming. Oxidative stress is the #1 theory of aging, because oxidative stress is something that gets greater as we age, and our body's ability to keep it under control is reduced. It's like a double-edged sword. oxidative stress, the first theory of aging. In addition to that, let's look at some of the things that, on top of the fact that we breathe oxygen, also cause oxidative stress. Diet, smoking, medication. Can you see my dad in this picture? He smoked for most of his life. He was on a whole barrage of pharmaceutical medications. The environment, pollutants, the inactivity, well, he certainly wasn't an athlete or doing much physical activity. You know, alcohol, we were a party family. I grew up, my parents had parties all the time. I think I got that from them. You know, the toxins in the environment and the pesticides, okay? There's a lot going on in our world that we need to be concerned about. When humans first inhabited the earth, our natural God-given defense mechanisms, our body's ability to keep these free radicals at bay was good enough. But the environment today is a totally different story. Why do you think we're seeing so many sort of diseases in our juvenile population that we used to only see in our senior population? It's because we can't keep up. It's because our bodies are incapable of keeping up with the barrage of insults, not only from the inside, breathing oxygen, but from the outside. You know, our environment has changed today, and our food has changed. It's highly processed. It's been stripped of all the fiber and loaded with lots of sugar. These things all together create this storm for oxidative damage and basically aging. Oxidative stress is a serious, serious situation. We all have it. We all need to be concerned about it. We all need to be paying attention to it. How does our body deal with that? We have a natural switch in our DNA, and it's called NRF2. It's a pathway. It's a pathway that's responsible for antioxidant production. What does antioxidant production do? It reduces oxidative stress, of course. So what do you think happens when we turn the switch on in our cells to increase our antioxidant production? It lowers oxidative stress by an average of 40% in 30 days. It increases our body's natural antioxidant enzymes like SOD, catalase, and glutathione. Okay, you don't have to know all that scientific stuff, but if you are familiar with health, you might recognize glutathione as a hugely important molecule in the body. By flipping on the switches in your genes, you can upregulate glutathione by 300% and also increase your own body's natural production of antioxidant enzymes, which are going to reduce oxidative stress and slow down the aging curve. This is what we're talking about. How exciting is that? So what's the Lifevantage approach? Flipping the switches, of course. Each antioxidant molecule from a dietary source, let me get the pictures here so we can kind of see the whole thing. There we go. Eating a rainbow of foods and taking vitamins is certainly, you know, it's a great thing. I'm certainly not going to say it's not, but we now know with new science that that kind of antioxidant activity is only neutralizing one free radical, one molecule from a dietary source like a blueberry or an orange is only neutralizing one free radical. Our bodies produce, I heard a smart doctor once say 13 sextillion free radicals a day. Okay, that's 13 with 26 zeros behind it. How many blueberries, how many oranges could a person possibly eat to get a handle on that number and neutralize? It's virtually impossible. And studies have shown that dietary antioxidants do not make an impact on oxidative stress. The free radical damage still continues to the cells in our DNA. But versus activation, when we flip on the switch, for NRF2 activation, each of your body's enzymes eliminates millions of free radicals per second, every second. And you can see the graph. Without protandum, your body's oxidative stress is on a steady climb as you age. There's an age-related increase in oxidative stress. That's a scientific proof. When we flip the switch of NRF2 at the cellular level, we can actually reduce oxidative stress up to 40% in just 30 days and up to 70% over time. The one protandum NRF2 synergizer, this flagship product, activates the body to produce an equivalent number of antioxidants to actually have a handle on reducing oxidative stress. Super, super exciting. We talked about the peer-reviewed journals. I kind of got ahead of myself a little bit, but if you understand science, these journals are really impressive. Free radical biology and medicine. Okay, I studied that in school all those years ago. These are top-notch journals, and this is all independent science. I ask you to look in your cupboards and your drawers at home. What supplements are you taking? What natural products are you taking? Do they have independent studies done in these scientific journals? I've not found any. And if there are some, I'm sure they're very few, but this is what separates this product from all others on the market. The scientific validation is second to none. It blew my mind. And then I'm looking at not only where were they published, who's publishing them? Harvard Medical School, MIT, the American Heart Association, Texas Tech. What about the National Institute on Aging? Pretty impressive stuff. This is what got my attention. This is what made me finally realize, oh my goodness, there is clearly something here and I've been missing it and I've been too busy looking the other way to pay attention. I'm so grateful I got it in my own way. When a bunch of PhDs from Washington State University publish a paper and they say NRF2 is likely to be the most important health promoting approach in the foreseeable future, and NRF2 may become the most extraordinary breakthrough in the history of health, in the history of medicine, that's some serious language there, and I think everybody needs to pay attention. So let's go to the second theory of aging, because you know what? Science continues. There's not just one way. There's 3 ways, and Lifevantage addresses them all. The second theory is the mitochondrial decline. The issue with mitochondrial decline is simply that the body needs constant power to run. The mitochondria are responsible for producing our cellular energy. They take the air we breathe and the food we eat, and they have a reaction in the mitochondria that produces cellular energy, the energy we need for everything we do, our brilliant thoughts, our marathon sprints, and all the physical and mental activities we do every second of every day are all done by the power of ATP and that cellular energy, and that's produced by mitochondria. So when you think of cellular energy and you think of old people, do you see the correlation? Old people don't have any energy. They don't have the stamina. You know, that's what I was seeing in my dad. So mitochondrial decline was clearly a function of his aging. What is the solution? Okay, the body is constantly fixing or removing damaged mitochondria and producing new mitochondria in a process called mitochondrial biogenesis, the production of new mitochondria. And you know, the organs in the body that use the most energy, that need the most fuel, are your brain and your heart. Maybe pretty obvious. They have more mitochondria. The cells, your heart cells and your brain cells have more mitochondria than any other cells in the body because of that reason. And it's because those organs need a ton of energy just to do the things that we do. But what's the hurdle? Unfortunately, the body's production of mitochondria does slow down over time. People get tired when we're old. It's really something we see every single day. What's the switch? Yes, indeed. We discovered another switch, and it's another pathway. It's NRF1 pathway. It's the pathway that's responsible for mitochondrial biogenesis, making more new, healthy mitochondrial. The input, of course, is the product. All natural herbs, 5 herbs, many of them you'll recognize. Coenzyme Q10, many people are taking that. Grape seeds, grape skin, seed, and pulp extra, that's resveratrol, you might recognize that. Quercetin. Some of these ingredients have been used for centuries. They're safe, and together the phytonutrients in the proper amount and the proper combination with each other are able to flip the switches in our DNA. And what's the benefit to you and I? It increases cellular energy, which gives us more energy. Who do you know that doesn't want more energy today? I mean, really. While supporting and chromosome integrity. Does that sound like a good thing? I think it does. What about improving sleep? When you don't get enough sleep, you're just cranky. Sleep is important. Improving sleep is oftentimes, when you sleep is when a lot of the repairs are happening in your body. When you're not having a good night's sleep, you're robbing your body of precious time to do the healing that it needs to do. Also, mitochondria and the NRF1 pathway supports cognitive and brain health. Okay, well, that's kind of pretty important. And it supports healthy circulatory and cardiovascular systems. Do you know my dad had both a cardiac and a femoral bypass in his life? Because circulatory and cardiovascular issues were declining. His mitochondria weren't doing the job. How about the third theory of aging? The sirtuin activity. I'm super excited about this because if you are all into health, you have heard about sirtuins on the news. This is the newest and hottest area of scientific research and development today. NAD is something that, as a matter of fact, the science behind this won the Nobel Prize for Medicine in 2019. That's how current we are with Lifevantage. This is brand new discovery, and as I say, it won the Nobel Prize for Medicine in 2019. We haven't even had a Nobel Prize winner. They haven't even announced the 2020 winners yet. This is the last award for the Nobel Prize in Medicine, was given to NAD and the scientific processes behind sirtuin activity. Okay, so what is this? So sirtuins are proteins. There's 7 proteins, sirtuins, that are all involved in longevity and healthy aging. As the body runs, its cells create waste that can back up and slow down the cell. Okay, if we're not taking the trash out on a cellular level, we're going to have problems down the road. Just imagine not taking out the trash in your house. It doesn't take long before it starts to accumulate and you can't get around and you can't function the way you were when it was clean. Activating sirtuins is critical for long-term health and longevity because it takes out the trash on a consistent, regular basis. It also involves a process called autophagy. That's recycling of old cells. When you have cells in your body that are, dragging along and not keeping up to snuff and not participating in the group activities, autophagy is a natural process by which you're recycling those old and dysfunctional cells so that they can reconfigure into new healthy cells. How exciting is that? The solution here for recognizing the third theory of aging and sirtuin activity is that the body is constantly activating sirtuins and producing additional sirtuins. But what's the hurdle? Same thing. Unfortunately, as the body gets older and as we age, the body's production of sirtuins and sirtuin activity slows down dramatically. NAD is critical for long-term health. I encourage all of you to research NAD, and it will blow your mind when you understand what this molecule does for the body, and that this company, Lifevantage, has a switch that turns on the production of sirtuin activities on the cellular level by flipping the switch in your DNA. And I just want to quickly say one thing. Do you know how some people who have great longevity, like you look at people around the world and you see the blue zones and, where do people have a long life? You know, the people that cut a hole in the frozen lake and they jump in there and they shock their bodies into being in the frigid cold water? That's another way to activate sirtuin activity. When your body is thrust into survival mode, which is what's happening when you're jumping into a frozen lake, it starts to conserve energy and it starts to say to itself, how can I recycle? How can I take all the cells and all the parts of the cell that are dragging and not, that aren't pulling up their socks, they're not participating, they're not working up to snuff. We're going to recycle all of those so that we're going to get rid of the cells that are just dragging along so that we can reconfigure brand new cells. Well, would you rather jump in a freezing cold lake and hang out in there for a little bit of time? Or would you like to take an herbal activator of perfectly clean ingredients that can flip the switch on your own DNA and encourage your body's own production of sirtuin activity? I mean, super exciting. Another way is fasting. You hear about people fasting, calorie restriction. Well, I don't know about you, but I don't like that plan very much. I'm a foodie with a capital F, and if someone told me that I needed to fast on the long term to turn on the genes, I don't think I'd be able to do it. But now I can do it with the flip of a switch with Protandim NAD, a third synergizer, a third activator produced by Lifevantage. The company is at the forefront of the future of health and wellness, and we can all take this ride and this journey together. So sirtuin activity. Harvard, MIT, as I say, they're all studying it. I'm kind of ahead of myself here. Let's just keep going. So Protandim Trisynergy, okay? This is the package. This is the 3 pillars of health. It's like a stool with 3 legs on it. 1, 2, and 3. If you're going to address the aging code, if you're looking to slow down aging, you want to address all theories of aging. From a biohacker's perspective, this is a silver bullet. You can turn on all of these gene activators simply with healthy, clean ingredients produced and distributed through Lifevantage. It's a new day in health. Oops, okay, moving on to the next slide. I'm watching the clock because I got a bit of a late start, but here's the beauty of what we call synergy. You know, our body's made up of systems and cells that all talk to each other. Doesn't it make sense if one communication channel is working better, that maybe a second one will? And if two channels of communication and networking are working better, that maybe a third one might be able to chime in? That's exactly what Lifevantage discovery and scientific journey has revealed to all of us. The NRF2 pathway, when we take the protandim nerve 2 by itself, we get lots of expression of the genes that trigger antioxidant enzyme production. You can see it right there in the gray. But when you take all three products together, they work in a synergistic effect. And look at the blue graph. That's the kind of expression of the anti-inflammatory and antioxidant gene expression we get by activating our NRF2 pathway well on the other synergizers. The NRF1 pathway, the ability to produce more mitochondria, to keep our engines, to keep the organelles that produce our cellular energy in tip-top shape and firing for us when we need to, every time, on time. When you take the three synergizers together, you get a significant increase in the amount of gene expression. And finally, with NAD, exactly the same. We get great increase in NAD and sirtuin activity by taking protandim NAD by itself. But look at what happens when we're activating all the pathways together. It's really a slam dunk. So Lifevantage product pillars. We're talking about gene activators, a new day in health, and nice to know clean ingredients, which are so hard to find today, are absolutely in all of these products. No GMOs, no artificial flavors, colors, or sweeteners, all clean ingredients. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to activation. Welcome to the future of health and wellness. We can flip the switches in our genes and biohack the aging code. Is that the most exciting thing you ever heard? I certainly think it is. We have lots of products with Lifevantage. We have a beautiful product line. I don't have time to go into all of them in detail tonight. I encourage you to get the information on the rest of the products. They're all stellar. Axio, NRF2 for the brain, your brain food for mental clarity and focus. Oh, I love that product. I consume it every day. It keeps me in the zone. It's another activator. Skin care. Who doesn't like beautiful skin? The first place you see aging, unfortunately. NRF2 activation for the skin. It turns on the DNA and the cells of your face. I mean, does it get any more exciting than that? I'm 95. What do you think? Just kidding. Okay, moving on. How do we get started? I talked about the business, and let me tell you, I don't know which is more exciting, the business or the science. When you can look at groundbreaking science like we just talked about, and this company allows an average person like me and like you perhaps to get involved in a business in a new industry that's sweeping the globe. I mean, it just, in my opinion, it just doesn't get any better than that. You know, most of us have, you know, the opportunity of a lifetime come around once or maybe twice. If you're looking for an additional income, if you're looking for better health, please get your questions answered here. I hope you dive in and get your questions answered. I know you'll be thrilled at what you learn. And I'm pretty sure that once you know what I know, you will be stepping into this business like so many of us, because who do you not want to know this information? Who do you dislike out there so much that you wouldn't want them to know a way to flip on the switches in your genes and slow down aging? So how does that affect us with business besides being totally exciting? Lots of ways to start. We have packages and enrollment packages, small, medium, and large. I encourage you to find the best fit for you. We are all self-selected in this business. We are not going to push you, drag you, convince you. We all choose for ourselves. I chose for myself. You have to choose for yourself. I encourage you to get all the information so you can make the right decision for yourself. And to that end, there's a number of ways to get started. Also, from a business perspective, we have a brilliant you get 2 websites included with your distributorship. We shop online as easy as Amazon, easier actually, with a beautiful website that's tailored to each individual, where we can share it with people, and sales are absolutely as easy as the click of a button. We also have a shopping cart we can share. I can do the shopping for my customer. We can have a conversation on the phone. We can talk about what products they're interested in. I can do the shopping, fill the cart, send them the link. link. They click on the link and all of a sudden they're at the checkout. All they have to do is fill in their personal information, where they want the products delivered, and payment information, and there you have it. It's on its way. I didn't do anything but have a great conversation and share with someone I know and love about this brand new secret, this discovery that the world doesn't even know yet, but you and I know. And that's why we're going to take advantage of this business, because we know before most of the world knows. I just think it's so exciting to be in front of this wave that's going to just, and it's coming fast and furious, trust me. Health right now, oh my goodness. What's on everybody's mind at this moment, right now? How about health and money? I'm thinking. Compensation. Let's talk about the compensation plan, because it rocks. And who doesn't want to know how to make money, especially in this environment? Okay. I talked about being retired with my husband, and grateful that we're in a situation to do that. But I'm telling you, last year, at the end of the year, you think you're all set up for retirement, you're financially stable and ready to head into your retirement. And then all of a sudden you wake up yesterday and you say, I'm not so sure. Okay, the economic landscape is different today. There are so many people looking for new ways to make money from home. We have an opportunity that absolutely, well, in my opinion, it's really second to none, because of the science and because of the timing of what's going on. So let's talk about, how do you make money? We get paid a number of ways. What we're doing is we're just sharing the information with people. We're building a network of people who will consume the products and say good things about them. That's all. We're building a network of people who will take the products happily and share the information with other people that they know. That's it. That's the job. That's the business. It's easy to share information in this day and age with the digital platforms that we have. We get paid weekly, and actually we have a daily pay. If you have 5,000 in organization, or 5,000 in volume in your organization, you can participate in daily pay. Go to work right now, get paid tomorrow. I mean, I just don't think it gets any better than that. And I talked earlier about finally being paid what you're worth. Are you kidding? This business is going to change lives. It has absolutely changed my life, the life of my husband, and the life of our entire family moving forward. We get launch bonuses. We also get paid monthly. We get elite pools. The company actually profit shares with us. You know, in all my time in the pharmaceutical arena and other corporate Canada jobs that I had, the school and teaching and otherwise, not once, never in my life has any company been willing to share their global profits with me until now. So isn't that the most spectacular thing? If you're familiar with the network marketing arena, you must recognize that this along with many things, the science, the products, etc., but this one portion of the compensation plan itself separates this company from other companies in this space. Okay, it changes the fact that there's competition in sidelines and downlines and crosslines. That is completely eliminated with Lifevantage. When I reach an elite rank, which is 100,000 in group volume monthly, I get a piece of the action for every product sold. I get a piece of the action for every product sold around the world, basically. So that allows a community to build and form where we all link arms together and we're all marching for the top together. None of us can get where we're going alone. This is a team sport, a team business, and that's probably the most fun. I've made friends that have become family because this business attracts the best of the best. I'm so humbled and privileged to be in the community of the people that call Lifevantage a home. So moving on, getting into profit mode, I'm rushing along. If you know me, you know, chatty Cathy, you know, speed and being short is definitely not my forte. I apologize for that. But getting into profit mode, how you start in this business. If you enroll someone with however you start rather, no matter how you start, if you enroll 3 people that start exactly the same way as you, you're in the green. You have a complete return on investment, and the rest is profit in your pocket. And believe me, people are profitable the first month if they go to work. It's not rocket science. It's sharing amazing scientific breakthrough with the world at a time when health is paramount. And who wants to get old? Just saying. So it's the perfect meld. Work from home or anywhere. Choose who you want to work with, social sharing. I mean, I'm retired. What do retired people want? They want social activities because they left that back at the office. They want cash flow that they pretty much left back at the office. And they want to be bigger than something on their own. I'm so grateful that this business has brought so much to my life on top of better health and better finances. We have a virtual office. You can track your sales. You can track what the team's doing. You have a personal online store. They've got all the bases covered. Okay, and last, certainly not least, is timing. Why Lifevantage and why now? Because nobody knows about it but you and I. I think that's the best reason. In business, it's all about timing. Okay, being first is important when it comes to business. Do you think Lifevantage is first? They are standing out in front, waving the flag of a brand new industry that's sweeping the globe. Okay, we're on this massive shift, as I said before, from supplementation to activation. And we're leading this parade, and we're leading this charge. And there's an enormous financial opportunity for you if you choose to grasp it and grab a hold of it. So most of the United States and Canada don't even know what we're about yet. That spells opportunity to me. If you look at what industries on planet Earth are growing right now, you can see that we are totally in that space. Okay, health, personal care, services and other, poof, 60% increase in wellness in product sales in the last 8 years. And it's only going up, and it's only going up faster. This is a really cool graph that came off PubMed.gov. Are you ready for this? This is the graph of studies on oxidative stress, the #1 theory of aging. Every year, there's twice as many studies as the year before. There is over 220,000 studies on PubMed.gov showing the world the dangers of oxidative stress and how it affects our health and how it affects aging. Okay, that's the graph. The world is looking at this. The world is looking at how oxidative stress affects human health and how can they slow it down. You just heard, you know how to slow it down. I know how to slow it down, and we just have to share it with the world. You can build your dream lifestyle. Okay, this is the income disclosure statement. These are actual audited figures. The company is publicly traded, so these are the company's transparent. These are what our real distributors make. A Pro 3, a foundational rank, which qualifies you for daily pay, an average of $626 a month. That makes a difference in every household. I don't care who you are. An extra $600 a month after month after month landing in your mailbox. It's a car payment, it's groceries for the family, it's all kinds of things. It's a mortgage for a small house. That is serious money at just the Pro 3 foundational rank. What about Pro 5? That's where I am. I'm Elite Pro 5. Tell me, residual or leveraged income to the amount of over $3,000 a month, that's US, and I'm Canadian, so that's about $1 million for me. I'm telling you, that's pretty exciting, okay? That's leveraged income. It is super sweet when you're earning that money based on a team effort. It's all about generating a large team of people where everybody just does a little bit. And the accumulation of that, the combined effort of all of that generates huge leverage income for anybody who wants to take advantage of this opportunity. And Elite Pro 7, when you get to participate in the global pools, that is a serious 6-figure income, folks. And when you can generate that by helping your friends get healthy, make a few extra dollars, and potentially educating the world and slowing down the aging code, I mean, do I have to say it again? How exciting is that? Can you do this? Absolutely, yes. We do have a system. We don't sign you up and let you flail around on your own. We have the ABCs of how to do Lifevantage, and you just need to plug in. We have the support, we've got the system, we've got the people, we've got meetings, we've got all kinds of things. Right now in the current environment where unfortunately we had to cancel all our face-to-face big events, Lifevantage has stepped right up. They're delivering digital training every single Saturday so we can sit home in the comfort of our own homes and get the executive team and the top income earners and top producers of this company come right into my living room and train me how to do the job and how to be better at my business and how to be better with my team. It's absolutely incredible. This company totally rocks. So folks, Lifevantage is totally where it's at. I'm not sure where you're sitting in your life. I don't know if you're looking for better health or more money. I would suspect right about now that most of us are. One thing I do know for sure, and that is that we are looking for people that have an entrepreneurial spirit. We're looking for people that want to link arms with us, people that want to share this secret with the world and stand out front to share Nutrigenomics, to share biohacking, to share with people you know and love that we now know how to turn down the aging code and how to slow it down and live healthier. I've got a question for you. I watched these products improve the quality of my dad's life at the end of his life. At 86 years old, with tons of health compromises and going downhill fast, I watched what flipping the switches did for him. Okay, I don't want to get into any medical claims, but his whole life changed. His sense of humor returned. He was witty again. He got rid of his walker for a period of time. He came off oxygen. He was happy. He was sleeping at night. He had quality of life that he didn't have before he flipped the switches. So I have a question for you. How are you going to show up at 85? I asked myself that question looking at my dad. And I'm thinking to myself, oh, if flipping his switches at 86 years old did for him what I saw it do for him, what is it going to do for me when I start flipping my switches at this stage in life? I feel amazing. I plan on living a long time. And that's why I need this income opportunity, because I'm telling you, the longer we live, that creates another problem, and that's having enough money till the end. So thank you, Lifevantage, for giving this opportunity to me and to the world, an opportunity where I can learn about, you know, shrinking the aging code, slowing down the aging with natural supplements that are flipping the natural God-given switches in my cells. Hello, so exciting. So folks, I'm not sure where you're at. I hope that I touched you enough that if I piqued your curiosity, please do the research. Please get back to the person who talked to you. Get your questions answered. Have a serious look at Lifevantage. Okay, we know that this business might not be for everyone, but better health most certainly is. And I encourage you to get all your questions answered and get back to the person that invited you here tonight for that purpose. And with that, I'll close the presentation. Thank you for you know, keeping pace with me with my challenges, technological at the beginning, but thank you so much for your time and your attention. I hope you got some insight tonight as to how you can flip your switches and live a long and healthy life. Have a good night.